Hi everyone, welcome to another Joseki lesson. This is definitely the most important Joseki in the pincer section. So let's get into it, and I'll keep this short because this is really important, and this is one of very few Josekis that you really need to remember the sequence of. So black plays the approach, and white chooses the very common low one-space pincer. As I mentioned last time in the previous video, black's coming into the 3-3 point is a very common variation. And by coming into the 3-3 point, black is not really afraid of this pincer. And the Joseki is like this. White plays at number 8, and the goal is to separate number 5 and number 7. Now black must crawl here in order to take the corner. Note that usually black should not play this move. This way, black will only take the corner here on the second line. It does connect with number 5, but white can play this pressing attachment move at number 14, which will keep black in the low position here. So this will benefit white slightly. That is why number 9 must be here, and the next move is really important. White must extend. I'll talk about what happens when white plays this hane, which was considered a wrong move. So the correct move is to extend here. And the next move could be a little controversial, but for now, just remember it. It will not be completely outdated anytime soon. Is this hane here on the second line. So why do we play here on the second line at the beginning of a game? As I mentioned in some of the other lessons, you play on the second line because you want to establish a base. And that's exactly what black is trying to do. It's trying to make a living shape here on the corner and also extending a little bit of territory as well. After this exchange, here's a cutting point at E17 right here, and white must address that. Before the age of AI, human players simply play this connection, which is suboptimal according to AI. If AI were to play, AI would play here instead. So number 14 here at F18, underneath number 5 is the Joseki. And now what black needs to do is not to try to save number 5. So number 5 is kind of paralyzed here. Black could use it sometime down the line, but for now, black can just leave it. What's more important is not to get completely enclosed here in the corner, right? If black plays elsewhere, now white can simply bend here and play this hane. Black will get a living shape, but white will achieve an enclosure of black's corner, which will greatly benefit white. So that is why black must play this one space jump on the third line to make sure that the corner is not only alive, but also not enclosed by white. And this is the Joseki, extremely important, and this is one of very few. If you only remember 5 or 10 Josekis, this is definitely one of those Josekis that you need to remember. So please make sure you try this in games. If you play in person with family or friends, make sure you practice this Joseki with each other so that you remember the sequence. Of course, there's more to it than just this sequence to this Joseki, and I'll explain some of the complications in the next few videos. But for now, please remember this very basic pattern, because why is it important? After all, black is not really afraid of any pincer, not just number 6 here, but any of these pincers, black can simply jump into the 3-3 point and play this Joseki. And if you're black in this situation, you don't really have to care how white addresses this cutting point, right? This way, playing here is probably still the correct move, and black can still jump out. So black's move doesn't really change with this pincer, and that's the beauty of this Joseki for black. Of course, if white plays this very rare high one-space pincer, then black can still play this Joseki, doesn't really matter. And in this situation, if you're white, which of course you shouldn't really play this pincer in the first place, but if you do get to this situation as white, you have to connect here instead. If you play here, then you need another move. Otherwise, black can give white a lot of trouble, potentially here, right? So it's all white's problem, and as black, you don't really have to worry where the pincer is. You can always jump into the 3-3 point. If it's a 3-spin pincer, you can also just jump into the 3-3 point. And if it's this way, usually white will need an extra move here. Otherwise, again, number 5 still has life, and number 17 can potentially cut off number 6 from this group right here. And there's still this cut, right? So this will be a tough fight for white after number 17. So that's why white will probably need an extra move here to solidify white's position here on the upper side. So once again, this is the basic sequence, and this video is the short version, short introduction to this sequence, and we will get to the complications in the next few videos. Please stay tuned, and thank you for watching.